Howdy y'all, Drew Wayne here, hope y'all are doing well, and today we are loaded up in Kerbal Space Program 1, and I have a skyscraper on top of a rocket, and in this video I'm going to try to land this sucker on the planet Duna. Okay, so we have our skyscraper inside of a fairing on top of our rocket. And without any further ado, let's launch this sucker. Alright, so we are off the pad at a chunky 5 frames per second. Still better than Kerbal Space Program 2. If you consider that we're hauling about 1,300 parts right now. But I'm going to speed the footage up to make it a little less chunky. There we go. We could talk about our payload right now. So yeah, it is 1,359 parts and 169 tons. With the rocket, it is 1,546 parts and just under 1,200 tons. Yeah, you need a lot of fuel just to get this sucker going. But we are on our way off the planet Kerbal, and we're going to get into a stable orbit here, and then I'm going to send a fuel tanker up to refuel, and we're going to have to do this one other time while we're in the sphere of influence of Kerbal, and then we will head out to Duna. There go our second set of side boosters there. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and cut to the orbital burn. Pretty uneventful here. I just had to adjust the gimbal a little bit to keep us from spinning out. Let's go ahead and cut to fairing deployment. Oh, look at that beautiful fairing deployment. And there we are, folks. We are exposed to the vacuum of space, naked and afraid. Not a whole lot going on here. I just wanted to show this beautiful shot of the skyscraper with the sun setting in the background. So I almost forgot to record here. I hope y'all will forgive me for missing the beginning of the launch, but it was pretty uneventful. But we have a tanker here. We're gonna go meet up with our skyscraper, and we're gonna refuel it for the first time, and then we're gonna have to do that one more time before we leave Kerbal's sphere of influence. So you're gonna see me cut a lot, basically to all the points of interest. So here we are, we're already rendezvoused with the skyscraper, and we're gonna go dock with it real quick. I had to go spin it around to make it point towards our tanker. And I'm gonna go ahead and speed this up a little bit to keep things relatively short. We got a lot of footage to cover here, so gonna go ahead and make a bunch of cuts and try to keep this kind of neat and tidy. But as you can see, we're going in, and we kissed it a little hard there, and I'm just trying to get oriented to a spot where it will accept my goddamn tanker. I can't quite get it to an angle where it likes. I'm just trying to orient it there. But there we go. Finally got it aligned. That was a lot of fiddling, and I sped that up 400%. Okay, so now I have done all the tedious work of transferring the fuel, and we are going to go ahead and undock this puppy and get it out of the way. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this skyscraper in a much higher orbit, like a kilometer orbit. And that's just so I could send another tanker out, kind of just use as much fuel as possible inside of Kerbal's sphere of influence. And that ought to give us just enough fuel to make it to Duna. So as you can see, we're putting ourselves in a much higher orbit. And basically my logic behind this is I just want to be able to have as much fuel as possible when I make it to Duna. I don't want to use a bunch of fuel inside the skyscraper itself because all that I want it to use for landing, obviously. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to refuel this thing at least one other time, and hopefully that will just give us just a little bit extra more, you know, just that much more fuel to make it to Duna. Alright, so tanker number 2, as you can see, we got a little bit more oomph in this one. Got some solid rocket boosters to push it a little bit harder. We are going a lot further this time around Kerbal in a much higher orbit. And yeah, there's not much to say about this one. So there's the launch. Here is where we met up with it. I'll show us slowing down here. So at this point I'm kind of having trouble getting it lined up, so I kind of took the lazy route. Had to go to the skyscraper and, you know, set the docking port as the target on that one, and, you know, get it to kind of face where it needs to face. And slowly but surely they start to angle where they need to go, and we have a docking. Yeah, that was pretty sad to watch me struggle, but I figured I'd leave it in there for comedy's sake. Alright, so we have all of our fuel in our tanker, and our skyscraper is ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and undock our tanker right there. And then we're gonna go ahead and get it backed up away from the skyscraper. And now I'm gonna switch back to the skyscraper. And we're gonna switch our control point back to our little remote guidance unit on the top there. And from here on out, we're gonna be using the skyscraper and nothing else. We're gonna make our way over to Duna. So as you can see right here, we're setting the transfer window up. Getting it at around the 45-degree angle. I'm not the best at getting this. I just kind of eyeball it. I mean, it looks close enough to 45, so we'll go from there. Alright, so we have a rough encounter set up with Duna, and we're making our burn right now, making our way downtown through the solar system. Burning a lot of fuel to make this transfer happen too, so... But as long as we have enough fuel to make it to Duna and be able to circularize and, you know, be able to deorbit into the atmosphere, I should have, shouldn't take that much fuel to actually land the sucker. So that's kind of my plan of attack. And there we go. We are on our way to the red planet. Okay, so my first burn didn't work as well as I wanted it to, so we're gonna make a small correction burn here, just to kind of get us on track. And as you can see, that burn actually worked. We're gonna get an encounter with Duna. Okay, so it actually looks like we're gonna get an encounter with Ike. So I'm gonna adjust that orbit just a little bit, get us orbiting around Duna. We don't really need to be crashing into Ike or anything. Alright, so we are set up with a solid encounter with Duna. And this will give us the opportunity to get into a nice, flat, stable orbit without having to put too much energy into our burn. And there we go, we ran out of fuel in our upper stage, and now it's all Skyscraper. Hopefully we'll have enough fuel to actually land. And now we're deorbiting. Had to make a quick save there. You can never be too safe, especially on this game. Alright, so I'm doing just a quick burn to shut off a little bit more speed. I was afraid of it getting a little bit too hot upon re-entry, but I could have probably just saved the fuel here, to be honest. At this point though, I'm just trying to play it safe. So as you can see, our speed is way the hell down. There's no way we're gonna burn up upon re-entry. Yeah, I just need to kind of rely on the chutes to do their work and make sure that we have enough fuel to just do that blast kind of towards the end to slow us down. And we should be good. You can hear me staging the chutes here. Kind of useless. I was kind of just doing it so I wouldn't forget, because I've done that a couple times, not gonna lie. But we got that beautiful shot of Ike in the background, which I think is pretty cool. And as you can see, the atmosphere is doing a pretty good job of slowing us down. So I really didn't need to do that burn at all, but it helps, I guess. The slower the descent, the easier it is to control, so there is that. And there's really not much to say here, to be honest, I guess. Just enjoy the descent. There we go, we have a wonderful chute deployment. Those are our drogues. And those are doing a really good job of slowing us down. And now that we're getting down to about 1,000 meters, I go ahead and stage the regular chutes. And there those go. That's gonna slow us down even more, but I realize we're still coming in a little too hot, so I slam on the throttle just a little bit to kind of shut off as much speed as possible, and now we're in a nice controlled descent. About 300 meters off the surface, coming in down at about 16 meters a second. Able to slow it down just a little bit. I was just trying to not use too much fuel, but just enough to kind of keep it controlled. And now we are so close to the surface, I just want to kind of keep it down around 5 meters a second. there you go. Touchdown. That was about 4 meters per second that we touched down at. It's a little rough for the size of this, but we stuck the landing. There we are. And at this point, I was so excited that I had to switch the camera here to show my reaction. But unfortunately, I was so excited that I forgot to record the audio. So you're just going to have to watch me visually embarrass myself. Yeah, I never said I wasn't a cringe person. So anyways, I figured we would celebrate by giving a little bit of a tour of our newly landed skyscraper. So here we are. I got Valentina here coming out of the lander can. And this is kind of my makeshift entrance into the building, is just a chute that kind of just angles down into a hole. But I mean, it works. It does its job pretty well. This building does have floors, and it does have stairs that I worked pretty hard on. But other than that, there's not really a whole lot of furniture. I kind of wanted to save on weight and not add a shit ton of furniture and things to have in there. Is this entire building moving? I think the whole thing is sliding right now. It's probably not a good thing, but we're just gonna keep making our way down these raggedy stairs that I made, and kind of just more or less fall down them. And here we are. We got another floor here. Pretty much all the floors look the same except for the top floor. The top floor and the bottom floor are probably the most different. And then the ones in between kind of all look the same. But there we go. We got a nice shot out the window there. The only windows are the center ones because I basically use the other window slots as spots for the solar panels, as you can probably see. But anyways, I'm kind of rambling on here. We're on another floor here. I don't even know what floor we're on now, but it does look like I missed a panel here. But that kind of makes it easier to get down. Easier than taking the stairs, in my opinion. You may have to break your ankles in the process, but there we go. Let's kind of make our way even further down here. I kind of want to show you the best part of this entire skyscraper, in my opinion. Let's kind of make our way down here, kind of fall down the stairs even more. I think this is the second floor here. There's 6 floors in total. And I always get lost when I'm in this thing. Yeah, the Kerbal's just not meant to have floors. If I put something in there to kind of distinguish all the floors from one another, it'd probably be easier. But sure enough, this whole thing is kind of sliding. Kind of makes it hard to stand in. I should have landed on a flatter spot, but this is me trying to time warp and seeing if it will kind of plan itself. It doesn't. Every time I come out of time warp, it starts sliding again. So what can you do? I could wait probably a while and it'll eventually settle itself, but at the moment I think it's fine where it is. It'll settle its way onto some flatter land eventually, or it might topple over, who knows. But here is the bottom floor. We have a lander can here, and we have my favorite part. All the engines are down here, and this is how you actually land and fly the skyscraper. And then lastly, my favorite feature is probably the doors here. The doors actually open. I got them attached to some pistons here, and as you can see, they open just enough that you could squeeze Valentina's fat head outside of them. And there we go. We are outside of the tower, and we can get some really cool shots now of Valentina while her her skyscraper slowly slides away from her. That's gonna be fun to mess with when we're taking the screenshots. But there y'all have it. Yeah, we have a skyscraper. It's on Duna. Let me know if you want to see more of this. Should I try to build a city? It's going to be kind of hard with everything sliding like this, but I think maybe we could make something work. If I could find a flatter spot, maybe we could get something going. I don't know, but that's up to y'all. Go ahead and share with me your thoughts down in the comments below. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace!